Good afternoon. Today my presentation is going to be on the legacy of Thomas Jefferson. So today we think of Thomas Jefferson as one of the most iconic, legendary, and important of all the founding fathers, alongside men like George Washington, the father of the country, Benjamin Franklin, Patrick Henry, as well as a long list of other men that were part of founding the nation. During his own time, Jefferson wielded a great amount of influence over the course that the fledgling United States would take as a nation. This was due to his amazing and bountiful natural abilities and intellect, an intellect that would have a huge role in his continuing legacy. One of the reasons Jefferson continued to be such an influential character was due to his standards and principles that continued to influence politics and legislation up to 175 years after his death. And what is more amazing than that for a legacy, that you would continue to influence a nation 175 years after you've died? So obviously we can't talk about all of the great accomplishments that Jefferson leaves in his legacy, but we're going to talk about some of the bullet points, some of the things that he thought himself were the most important in his legacy. So that means that we'll start with the Declaration of Independence. Now, the Declaration of Independence was authored by Thomas Jefferson. And the reason why this accomplishment of his is so important is that the Declaration of Independence really gives us our core values, are part of our core values as modern Americans. And those values are the equality of all men, or all people, and our unalienable rights, which are the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Thomas Jefferson was the one who gave us, or drafted, these values for us that has become such an integral part of American society. The next would be the Virginia Statute of Religious Freedom. Now, this was extremely important to Jefferson. It meant a lot to him. And the Statute of Religious Freedom guaranteed that residents of the state of Virginia would not be harassed by state authority as to how or where they worshipped, or whether they worshipped at all. It guaranteed complete religious freedom to those who lived within the state. And this was an issue or concept very dear to Jefferson's heart. The next would be the founding of the University of Virginia. And the founding of the university shows us how important education was to Jefferson. It was extremely important. Public education he believed very strongly in. And when we see all three of these accomplishments that he did, we can see where his heart truly lied. These three meant so much to him, in fact, that he left very explicit instructions about, after his death, what his tombstone would read. And it's very simple. It basically says, "Here lies Thomas Jefferson, the author of the Declaration of Independence, the Virginia Statute of Religious Freedom, and the father of the University of Virginia." So these three accomplishments were so important to Jefferson. He wanted them to be what people remembered him for after his death. And so these three accomplishments were before he became president. After he became president, we're only going to talk about two of the things that he was able to accomplish, though they were still great. As president, he made the Louisiana Purchase, which more than doubled the size of the nation at that time. And later on down the road, this would end up being one of the great decisions that he made as a president. And after he made the Louisiana Purchase, he also appointed the Lewis and Clark Expedition, where he sent Lewis and Clark out to explore all of the new attained land, so that settlers could come and settle. And obviously these aren't the only accomplishments that lend themselves to the legacy of Jefferson. Jefferson's legacy is so huge, we really don't have time to really completely go over it in 5 minutes. But these are some of just the bullet points. The three first obviously being some of the most important to Jefferson as to what he was able to accomplish. And his legacy is those three things that we still hold dear to ourselves as modern Americans. He continues to be one of the most influential founding fathers, even in modern times, because of his legacy that he left us. Thank you.